It was something I wanted to do. I was inspired by the Berrigan brothers, the priests, and it was 1968, and a lot going on that year.
Yeah.
I've even though I didn't make it, I've tried to hang on to the same core beliefs that I had back then, and I always felt that there was if people just followed the basic teachings of Jesus, it seemed like the planet would be a lot better off.
I would agree. And
I'm not saying everybody's got to believe in Jesus. I'm just saying that for myself.
For yourself. What drew all those people to Jesus, those 5,000 on the mountain and the other 5,000 out there on the plains, and all those people who gathered around him when he was wandering around, all those who came to him with various infirmities and sicknesses and need for adjustment, what drew them was his sense that God was his God, God as Jesus and they understood God to be, was with them. And his insistence that all had a right to life, all had a right to justice and mercy, that all had a right to be represented, to be present at the table.
No matter how much money they had.
No matter how much they had, how little, how much.
We've been filming people who've been evicted from their homes. I can't imagine if Jesus were here today that he would be participating in throwing someone out of their home because they've fallen behind.
I think Jesus would get between the people and whoever was throwing them out.
He would try to stop it.
He would stop it.
Right.
He would put his body right there and say, no.
Because this is
wrong.
It's immoral, sinful. Yeah. Even though they didn't have these terms back then, do you think that Jesus was essentially a socialist?
Yeah, I do. What I would refer to as, without being redundant, a Christian socialist, but certainly a socialist, one who believed that we are essentially social beings, that we're here as part of a human community, part of a universal community, and the way we're going to best live together is to live together, sharing what we have, respecting each one, and giving up what we don't need so that others might live.
This economic system, which is called capitalism,
right?
For most of my life, I've just seen it as this greater evil. This beast almost that has to be constantly fed.
Yeah.
It can never get enough money. It can never be full. Once it attacks one thing to make a bunch of money, and then it's got to go someplace else to make a bunch of money, and it can never stop. And the principles of capitalism, of course, there has to be growth each year. You have to, kill the competition, beat them, merge with them, buy them out, whatever.
Offshore them.
And I look through the years and I see all these examples of how we used to live and how we don't live anymore.
I think a very clear example of how capitalism works and its effects and how it ravages is in the recent pirate stories we've heard from Somalia.
How's that?
Well, I don't know if people are aware, but for about 18 years, the country of Somalia in eastern Africa has been without a government because other nations of the world, including the United States, have fought against that country having a government so that the natural resources could be exploited. Very specifically, for those 18 years and perhaps longer, the United States and Western Europe have fished the coastal area of Somalia virtually to death. There are no fish left there for the Somalis or for anyone else for that matter. Secondly, for the majority of those 18 years, the United States and Western Europe have been dumping waste into that area as well, including some of our nuclear waste. That's ravaging. That's taking a beautiful part of God's creation that in some sense belongs to a people, that is part of a people's heritage, the people of Somalia, and saying, we don't care about you. We care about our own need to eat fish and our own need to get rid of our garbage. Here,
And
it's
so
yours.
you think the pirating is a result of...
The pirating is a normal human result of that, yes, because that's the only way they can live and survive and remind the rest of the world that what we're doing to this tiny country, much like what we've done to other countries, is wrong. It's ravaging, it's destroying, it's spoiling a beautiful part of this creation that has a right to live otherwise.
You know, it seems to me that we have the capability to do so many good things. I mean, we are really blessed as a country. I mean, we do have enormous amount of resources and a lot of great people. It seems like we could find a way to treat the environment better, to pay people a living wage, to find new ways to transport ourselves that are less harmful, to not invade other countries.
Right.
Seems like we're capable of all of that. You know, so what's stopping us?
Well, I would say, first of all, I think a lot of people are, as we've mentioned, a lot of people are very honestly and seriously grappling with this and are already attempting to change their lives and are doing that on some level.
Yeah.
On a larger level, as a nation, I think it's important to recognize our sin, to ask for forgiveness.